get those life vests zipped and clipped, strap down those rods, and stow away those tackle bags because we are going fishing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bass 2 Anglers podcast. I'm your host, Keith Niswonger, and I hope this episode finds you with 5 for 25 stored in your Bubba Scales Pro Series Smart Fish Scale, integrated seamlessly with Major League Fishing Score Tracker. Well, I didn't think politics would ever be part of the Bass 2 Anglers podcast, but I guess it's come down to it. This rant is likely going to make you love me or hate me, laugh with me or laugh at me, or simply give a follow or unfollow. YouTube gives us all a platform, whether we should have one or not. I see that American Eagle, the fashion industry corporation, is ruffling some feathers with their recent Sydney Sweeney jeans campaign. People are in such an uproar lately that someone doxed her recently. Now, doxing, that's a term I'm not familiar with. I had to look it up. What is it? Well, doxing is the action or process of collecting and disseminating someone's personal information in order to shame, embarrass, expose, or intimidate them. Why is that even a thing? It turns out she's Republican, tends to favor common sense, and can shoot the hell out of a handgun or rifle. Are we supposed to like her more or less for that? I'm so confused. The action or process of collecting and disseminating someone's personal information in order to shame, embarrass, expose, or intimidate them. Well, that kind of got me thinking. That can be dangerous. I thought I would save any of you that might need or want to dox me the trouble of having to look everything up. Here's my self-dox. Maybe this will become something. My name is Keith. I prefer forward-facing sonar. I prefer spinnerbaits over vibrating jigs. I prefer punching over frogs. Now, I do like catching fish on frogs, but I feel like I miss too many bites on frogs. So, punching over frogs. I prefer foot throttle over hand throttle. I prefer a double-winged buzzbait over a single-wing buzzbait. Don't knock it until you've tried it. This one will be controversial. I prefer Major League Fishing's Every Fish Counts format over 3-hour weigh-ins and too much fish overhandling. I prefer glide baits over swim baits. And don't try to tell me that a glide bait is a swim bait. If you know, you know. I prefer a swim bait to an underspin. I prefer a jig and pig, that's a pork trailer, to a jig and plastic trailer. Sorry about that to all my vegan friends. When it comes to topwater, I prefer walking over popping, a walking Zara Spook type topwater bait over a popper. And finally, I prefer casting rods and reels over spinning rods and reels. Phew, there it is. My self-doxing. Do I feel shamed? No, not really. Embarrassed? Well, yeah, I kind of live in a state of embarrassment. Exposed? Maybe. Intimidated? Oh, you betcha. I say we should all do a self-dox right here before someone else does it. Go ahead. Leave a comment right here. Tell me something you prefer over something else. Let's get those lines drawn so we can know everything there is to know about you. Right here. Self-dox. Something you prefer over something else. I guess it really doesn't matter what you prefer or what I prefer. What it really comes down to is what the bass prefer. And like so many of those 80-20 issues that we hear about, when it comes to what the bass prefer, I'm usually on that 20% side. Reason number 14 that your next boat should be a Caymas. Our 17-inch running pad. Earl Bentz is an expert in boating performance, and when he considered that today's bass boats have 4 and sometimes 5 batteries, he designed our hulls to be able to handle the additional weight and use that extra weight to improve performance. The result is our 17-inch running pad. Not only will your Caymas handle rough water better than their boat will, you'll also enjoy maximum hole shots and phenomenal high-end performance. Build your next boat by going to CaymasBoats.com. Speaking of politics, I was trying to decide whether the forward-facing sonar issue has a conservative versus liberal angle to it. I mean, why not, right? Everything else does these days. We've got so much back and forth between conservatives and liberals in our world today. I thought I'd try to make bass fishing one more thing that we can't talk about at the dinner table. I was wondering if Republicans would favor forward-facing sonar, or if Democrats would be more likely to embrace the new technology. What do you think? Here's another chance for you to leave a comment. What do you think? Do you think Republicans or Democrats would favor the forward-facing sonar issue? Leave a comment. What do you think? Leave a comment. Let's get a whole thing started here. When I think back over the course of the last couple of years, I don't feel like I've heard many people trying to shame me into using forward-facing sonar. Let's think about that again. When I think about all the things that I've heard about forward-facing sonar, I don't recall hearing too many people trying to shame me into using forward-facing sonar. They simply just use their forward-facing sonar. I don't recall anyone being critical of someone for not using it. Okay, I did say that if you haven't tried it, you're not qualified to berate those that are good at using it. If you haven't gone out and tried to use forward-facing sonar yet, then you are not qualified to berate those that are good at using it. I did say that. I own that. But think about it. Does anyone out there go after people who don't use it? I don't think so. It's kind of like, don't use it. There'll be more fish for me to catch. On the other hand, there seems to be quite a few people out there, or maybe it's just one loud one, who wants to shame those who are using forward-facing sonar. Those that oppose the use of forward-facing sonar use the following derogatory terms and phrases. This is pretty interesting, because when you think about it, the arguments against forward-facing sonar, they are kind of militant. They are out there trying to dissuade us from using it. Okay, so here we go. Here are some of the derogatory terms and phrases that I've come across. Cheater box. We've heard that. That implies that if I use forward-facing sonar, I'm a cheater. That's kind of shaming. Or, it's an over-reliance on technology. Now, that kind of implies that those who use forward-facing sonar have diminished fishing skills. That's also kind of shaming. It creates a loss of traditional fishing skills. Shaming. Check. It destroys the heart of fishing. Somehow the fundamental spirit of fishing is diminished by forward-facing sonar. Yeah, again, you see, this it is shaming. It's not really even an argument. It's just a way of trying to shame us into not using it. Interesting. More shaming. The fundamental spirit of fishing is trying to catch fish. I'm wondering if our ancestors who had to live by catching fish would have embraced forward-facing sonar if it was available to help them feed their people. I'm guessing they would have. Forward-facing sonar has a negative impact on fish populations with the strong possibility of over-harvesting. Yeah, more shaming, this time with a hint of fear added to the equation. Yes, so when it comes to the forward-facing sonar controversy, the loudest voices tend to come from the side that is opposed to it. That is my observation. I would be interested in hearing yours. These voices tend to be militant, which is how I describe anyone who tries to shame me into accepting their worldview. Oh, awesome! My goal today was to somehow work the term worldview into this video, and I did it. Yes. So when it comes to the forward-facing sonar issue, one side tends to go about their business using the technology, not bothering to bother anyone else who's using it, while the other side pushes the narrative that forward-facing sonar is bad and shames, diminishes, criticizes, and cancels those that contradict their narrative. I don't know if we can put pro-forward-facing sonar and anti-forward-facing sonar people into neat, tidy categories. I don't know if it's a liberal versus conservative issue. I think Michael Jordan said it best when he was asked why he doesn't take political stands on issues. Essentially, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, both Republicans and Democrats buy sneakers. I've always thought that those were very, very smart words. Ducket Fishing's Super Sound Topwater Walkers. This might be the loudest topwater bait on the market. Powered by a unique internal rattle, this side-to-side walker can be cast a country mile to reach schooling bass or to hit an important piece of cover without alerting bass that you're in the area. Available in a 3 treble hook 110 version or its little brother, the 2 hook 95 Super Sound. These baits are going to put more fish in the boat. Fish Ducket Baits. Check out our website by going to ducketfishing.com. Congratulations to Steve Jenkins of Apache Junction, Arizona. Jenkins caught a 16-pound, 9-ounce bass on Arizona's Roosevelt Lake on Saturday, August 2nd. Jenkins and his partner were fishing a team tournament, which they didn't win. Kind of sounds like my luck. Well, actually, I wouldn't catch a 16-pounder. But if I did catch a 16-pounder, I probably still wouldn't win the tournament. That's why it kind of sounds like my luck. Jenkins and his partner weighed 26.07 pounds and finished second to the team of Pagler and Pagler, who won the event with 27.11 pounds. Jenkins told Bass Fan that he caught his fish on a 6-inch straight-tail robo worm in the morning dawn color. Why are so many fish caught on morning dawn? Why do I even have any colors in my tackle box that are not morning dawn? I mean, think about it. Is that the only color that we need to have? I don't know why I have other colors in my tackle box. Do you think people catch so many fish on the color morning dawn because almost everyone fishes that color, or because that color is just good? It's kind of like what came first, chicken or the egg. Maybe so many people fish that color because it is so good. Mind blown. Leave a comment on that one, though. Why do you think the color morning dawn catches so many fish? Is it because everyone's fishing it, or because it's just an exceptional color? I'd like to hear your comment. Leave it here. I've caught 2 fish that weighed 10 pounds in my life. The first one I caught on a jig in deep, clear water. And when I first saw that bug-eyed beauty come to the surface, I made the statement, that's got to weigh 15 pounds. A little embarrassing, especially since there were a couple of other boats surrounding us. The fish weighed 10 pounds and a few ounces, but it was nowhere near 15 pounds. The second one came off a dock at Clear Lake on a spinnerbait, of course during pre-fish, and it happened so fast that I never really got a chance to guess the weight. It just was there, and the fight, and in the boat, and wow. A 10-pound bass is one thing. Spectacular, probably fish of a lifetime, I would say. But a 16-pound bass is from another planet. As perfect as a 10-pounder must be to reach that size and that age, a 16-pounder is just a different species. I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass to Anglers podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.